Okay, thank you for tuning in. If you've been watching my videos, um, I've been posting a message for a few months now saying that I have some very important information that I'm trying to get out. And now that I've given it to the government and some scientists and other people, I'm going to say exactly what I've been working on. And this is something you can understand no matter who you are. The accusations I'm making and the evidence to back them up, anybody can look at what I'm doing and see that this is exactly what I'm saying. I mean, you don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a genius. What I've been posting all this time and trying to get done is I'm in the industrial gas business. It's a 30-year family business. And the company I deal with broke my contract for no reason. And that caused me to start an investigation and to try to fight them. There was no way to sue them or do anything because they're so powerful, they would just bury me in legal fees. So every lawyer I talked to, because they got to be paid up front, said, forget about it. So I started looking to see if there was any other way that possibly this would, and I uncovered something. And I hadn't put it out yet because I had to get it to the guy. I had to get it in people's hands before I put it out in the air. But here's what it is. It has to do with nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is one of the three most dangerous greenhouse gases to the planet. Nitrous oxide is 310 times more potent than CO2, which CO2 is the number one greenhouse gas because of the abundance of it. Nitrous oxide comes in kind of second to it, but lately it has taken a more concern than even CO2. And that's because it's growing rapidly in the atmosphere. When I found out that nitrous oxide was a greenhouse gas, and I started doing all my research, I went through all government, they call them models. These are a group of scientists from the IPCC and other agencies, EPA. And what they do is they put these focus groups together and they get all their facts together and submit it to the government and other things. And that's how they determine, what to put in the reports. Nowhere in anybody's reports are they showing that they're calculating in the nitrous oxide that I'm talking about. And when you see the nitrous oxide that I'm talking about and where it's coming from, it's in so much tonnage, it would just blew their minds. If you go to the EPA website and look up the nitrous oxide chart, they have a pie chart for nitrous oxide, and on there they break down who's responsible for putting it in the atmosphere. 75% of that is blamed on agriculture. So when I realized all this, and then I started finding out they had put a very huge carbon tax on this. So basically, all the farmers, people grow livestock, have dairy farms, cow farms, whatever thing like that, they're being charged for the carbon tax of the nitrous oxide that's being put into the air, because through what they do, its natural process turns into nitrous oxide in the atmosphere. Now, natural processed nitrous oxide, such as from cows passing gas or burping, or which is counted into this report, their report, and the fertilizer. And what I'm reading is that they're telling the farmers they need to cut down on the amount of fertilizer for the same amount of ground that they're trying to cover. Well, from the way I see it and what I read, the problem there is they won't get the same yield. But the government believes they need to make them cut back on the amount of fertilizer, and if not, they're going to be charged all these types of other things, tariffs or whatever. And when you look at what I'm talking about, I guarantee you the percentage that I'm talking about will eat up almost everything they're doing. Because the nitrous oxide I'm talking about is being put into the atmosphere after it's been purified and everything else. It's at 99% purity. When it goes through a natural process of coming from the ground, it has to get in the atmosphere, mix with other molecules, and then when it does, it becomes nitrous oxide, and it's not nearly as strong. So really, this is nitrous that, like I said, has been filtered and cleaned and brought up to the levels of 99.99%. These two companies, the company who designs the gas and the company who designs the systems to allow you to put the gas directly into the air, are not nowhere, anywhere even mentioned in any report. And I'm sure when they're done examining my information and putting it together and getting the reports from these companies on what they sold, the farming and agriculture and all, I mean, anybody that's been getting nailed hard with this should find a lot of relief here, because these two giant industries are polluting the air in like I said, you cannot argue my proof. My proof is so, I mean, there's nothing to decide. I mean, when you watch it, when I showed them the proof to them, you'd have to be corrupt to say it's not strong. I mean, I showed them how this gas is getting into the atmosphere in huge, huge, huge amounts. And like I said, not one report agency or panel or anybody is looking at these industries, which are polluting the air with raw, pure nitrous. But yet everybody in the farming and growing livestock are getting stuck paying the full bill for something somebody else is doing. And I started going on all these farming videos, family videos of it. And I'll tell you what, I was born in Philadelphia, PA, born and raised. I'm a city boy. So I really know, I mean, I know from seeing on TV and maybe being a few places, a little bit about, what it is, but I started watching them videos of these families and what they do. These people, in my eyes, are the backbone of this country. They do work that none of us would do, okay? And they do it not because it's worried about money. They love, you have to love that job. You could never do that. No amount of money is going to make you do that if you're out there. These people break their backs. And they're being charged and penalized for a very, very heavy tax that somebody else is putting in the atmosphere. Now, I'm going to the government to out the companies for what they're doing. Hopefully, they'll start an investigation and correct this. The second thing I'm looking to do is find an attorney that deals with class action suits. And I would love to see him take the farming or whatever 8 groups there are and start a class action suit against these companies and possibly the government for all the money you paid for that you should have never paid. So while these multi-billion-dollar industries get away with everything, you poor people out there breaking your backs are footing the bill for something they're doing. And like I said, we know through the natural process of the earth itself too, not just from agriculture. The earth also has a natural process that generates nitrous oxide too. But when they're done figuring out this industry that they never counted in, the, all the people who are getting charged for 75%, I'm no expert and I don't want to throw something on there, but I will say this much. What the agriculture right now is 75% is going to drop, in my opinion, to less than a third of that. When I show you the amount of nitrous that is being put into the air and how it's being put into the air, and that no one is talking about this. You cannot tell me these two industries do not know about this. You can never design all these systems and put this in play without coming across this. So in my eyes, they turned a blind eye for profit. So one, we need to get them to stop because they're polluting the air, and it's being done for something that doesn't have to be done. There are unnecessary evils such as the planet producing it. People trying to grow crops and things to feed this country and keep it alive are doing it. But you need that. You can't stop producing food and fruits and everything else. And meats and dairy. I mean, so they're, to me, necessary evils. The industry that is releasing all this gas is doing it for something that doesn't need to be done. If they stopped it tomorrow, the only thing it would affect is them companies. The people who are using it on the other end and buying it don't have to do it. And this has to do with racing. I've been racing cars for 40 years. And being in the industrial gas business, I've had scientists and other people say, how did you ever come up with this? And actually one of the people at the table said, simple. He's been racing for 40 years. We could tell he knows exactly what he's talking about with that industry. He's been in the industrial gas business for 30 years. So with him tied to both businesses, like I said, but now, like I said in the other videos, the industry that this will really affect has unleashed an unbelievable, I mean, they're attacking me in every way they can. They've destroyed my business. They broke me. They blacklisted me. I can't even go to another company to try to get my product because they're afraid. That's exactly what they said. They don't want to get involved because I've been in the business for a long, long time. So I know many people from many companies. I've had, they come solicit or whatever, So you get to meet a lot of people in 3 decades. And I call these other companies to see if I can switch over to them because of all the problems I'm having with this company now. And they're aware of what's going on and they don't want to get in the middle. So, as I said in the past videos, it looks like my business is going to go down. So, like I said, one, I'm trying to get an attorney that will start a class action suit for the farmers and agriculture and everything to fight for the money back that they should never have to pay. 2, I need to find a way to get the people to support me in this because these companies have to stop. They're polluting and really, really hurting us. And these scientists say we are in a critical situation right now. And that's why we see such drastic weather and all the stuff that we're seeing and everything. And they say this all has to do with climate change and different things. I'm not here to argue climate change, even though this is a big part of it, because they all argue who's right, who's wrong. Yeah. What I'm talking about, like I said, you cannot dispute it. My accusations are backed up by evidence that any person, layman person, would look at and say, God, you're right. I mean, I don't need scientists and experts to see what I'm talking about. I just need people to start seeing it. So that's what's going on. And hopefully soon this will all get up and going. Thank you, and please pass it on, and let's help these people who are getting their brains knocked in straightened out. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless this country.